Hi, my name is Chris McDonald. I'm coming to you from Kannapolis, North Carolina, which is actually just a little bit north of Charlotte. We've been having some really warm weather here lately. I'm sure that that's true with many people across the United States, but for us, it's been extremely warm. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I started out with an MLM. I really enjoyed working with that MLM. But unfortunately, once we decided to go ahead and add social media to the mix, everything became really confusing for me. I felt like I was overwhelmed with all kinds of information, and all the updates and all the new information that kept coming my way just really felt overwhelming. I didn't want anybody else to feel that way. And shortly after that, I decided that I really felt led to just go ahead and stop with the MLM and go ahead and start my own business working with social media. My goal is to go ahead and find ways to make things easier for others. Of course, I am a social media manager and will manage your pages for you, and your Twitter, etc. But the goal really is to make sure that no one is in that kind of confusion. There's no reason for that. So what I've done is I did a survey on Facebook. I didn't do it as an email survey. I just kind of wanted to see what it was that people were interested in. We did a series on blogging. The second came in second was Snapchat. So I did the training on that. Now, what I actually advertised was a training on how to use MailChimp for free. So I actually turned this into a two-part series. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get started. I know that everyone is concerned about time, me included. So what I want to do is go ahead and get started and share this information. And we should be ready to go. So what I felt like doing was jumping right in and running with teaching you all about how to use MailChimp for free. But the more that I thought about it, I realized that that really wasn't a very wise choice, because the main reason is that in all of my social media trainings, I say that you don't own your platform. You also don't own a list of those people. So in actuality, any one of your social media platforms could be taken away from you at any time by some change that may have been made by that particular platform. Maybe they don't like what it is that you're posting, or maybe they block you or suspend your account. Or the bottom line is that you don't actually have a list of those people. And if you would lose that platform, then you're also going to lose those people. So why is it that we do all this work on social media and our blog and more? Well, of course, the obvious reason is for the money. We all want to be able to earn some type of revenue, unless we're actually just doing this as a blog on our social media platforms, or if we're just doing a blog for fun. But most people that I know are doing the work that they're doing because they actually want to earn some money. An interesting fact that I learned is that 95% of the customers that go to your website are not going to buy something on their first visit. That's a pretty high number. The other thing that I realized is that social media is the same. I see people all the time that'll call their Facebook fan page their website. People can visit your homepage, and they can even like your page, but 9 times out of 10, they aren't going to come back to your homepage. It becomes all about the news feed and whether or not they're seeing your posts in the news feed. They might come back because they see something that you did or wrote or posted, and they want to go back and see what you've been up to and see what they've been missing. But on the whole, it becomes all about the news feed. So that's why we want to start working on creating that email list. You make up that list and you want to entice those folks to sign up right after they land on your page, whether it's your website or on your social media site. One of the reasons that we want to do that is because we want to build a relationship with those people. Now, I'm not saying that you can't build a relationship on social media. You most definitely do. I have a lot of people that I consider friends that are on my fan page. And through engagement and different conversations that have taken place, I really am building up a relationship. But at the same time, we want a relationship that's also going to lead towards a purchase. Last year, there was over 838 billion marketing emails that were sent out. The good news is that when people opt into your offer to get on your email list, 65% of those people will make that purchase when it's handled properly. The question is, how do we get that email from our fans, our followers, and our visitors? Well, we could always try the begging method. Please give me your email. Please, I want your email. I'm sure you know how far that goes. The other option is to offer something that's of value in trade for that email system. I chose a picture here of bartering. It's very similar to that. If your ideal customer, if you're offering them something that's of value, then they'll go ahead and give you their email. And that's because that's something of value to them. They value that. They think that their privacy is important. And so for them to give up that privacy and have you coming into their email box means that you have to give them something that they find valuable. Now, I've been using the word opt-in. You're going to hear a lot of different terms. You'll hear words like lead magnet. Some people will say an irresistible offer. There's a lot of different terms that are used. So if I use any of them interchangeably, just know that we're talking about the same thing. You might see some folks using what's called the ask method. Usually these are people that are really well known, and they'll say stuff like, join my list of thousands of people that get my newsletter full of tips and, those kinds of things. Those people are really well known. So for those of us that are small businesses or new businesses or solopreneurs are trying to say, join my list, probably isn't going to get you too far. Now, I do have a join my email list on my website. I did have one opt-in on that, but I usually get them much better if I'm trying an opt-in offer where I'm giving them something. The second method is called a require or gate method. To get what you're offering, these people have to enter their email. The best way to create your lead magnet is to answer a problem or offer a solution to a burning question that your ideal customer has. Now, if you don't know who that ideal customer is, please go on my website, which you're already on, go to the Facebook training on this site, go through training 1 and handout 1. Between the two of those, you will definitely be guided towards knowing who your ideal customer is, and you'll have an idea of how to determine what that question is that your customer might be having. In my case, knowing who my ideal customer was a turning point in all that I did. It determined how I posted on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, as well as what I was blogging about so that people would be interested in what I was doing and what I was offering. I learned about lead magnets or opt-ins, and then I thought that I was being so smart. I went ahead and wrote up a paper on ideal customer because it had such a great effect on me. I was sure that it was going to help everybody else and everybody else would just run to it. Well, I put that on my social media sites. I put it on my blog. I wish that I could say that the response was great, but to be honest, I only had a few opt-ins. I think that most of them came from friends and family that I asked to try opting in just to test it out. In the meantime, I was busy writing my book. I decided to create a sample book. Now, the reason for the sample book was actually to go ahead and lead people towards purchasing the book, but I decided to use it as an opt-in. The good part of that experience is that I'm proof that the best thing that we can do is create the lead magnet, put it on, and then start creating another. Obviously, the key is going to be test, and test some more. The increase in the number of opt-ins that I had from the ideal customer opt-in and my sample book opt-in was over 1,000%. And I go into a little bit more detail on that in the handout. Assuming that you're looking for inexpensive ways To implement this, you're going to need to find a way to deliver your product. If it's electronic, you're going to need a URL to share that product. So I'm going to go ahead and go over a little bit of information on Google Docs and Dropbox. You can go ahead and Google Docs, and whenever you do that, you'll come to a page that looks like this. I went ahead and went in incognito so that Google didn't recognize who I was. And what it's going to ask you to do next is going to be to sign up to get a Google account. Of course, I always assume that everybody has a Google account, but just in case you don't, that's also going to allow you to have access to create a YouTube channel, Google+, and of course a Gmail account. So those are all things that you're going to get with that Google account. So I think, to me, it's definitely worthwhile. Once you get to Google Docs, this is kind of what it's going to look like. Now, of course, you're not going to see this. These are just some of the documents that I've created and used. What you want to do is aim towards that plus sign. Once you hit that plus sign, it's going to open up, and it'll be very similar to what you see on a Word document. So when you open your Microsoft Word, it looks very, very similar to this. The one advantage that I definitely am seeing in Google Docs is that if I choose to add a link, which is right here, if I have the name of a company or something like that already in there, that link is almost already provided for me. Google has figured out how to just go ahead and put that there, and it's ready, just waiting for me to go ahead and add that. Now, this is an example of the one that I created for Snapchat for business and how to use Snapchat for business. After it's created, of course, there's a lot more typing underneath here. After it's created, you can go to that share button, which is right there. Once you go to that share button, you'll open up and get another box like this. You'll have that shareable link, and what you want to do is save that link. We'll go into that just a little bit more. Now, if you choose to go with Dropbox, you can sign in. It does say business pricing. I went ahead and signed up for a free account, not the 14-day trial. I just signed in. I created that account where you create an email and a password. And then once you create that, you're going to take the offer that you've created in some other manner, whether you created that on Microsoft Word or you created a PDF. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to this plus, which is right here. It's at the top right. And when you click on that, it's going to download whatever that document is or that PDF is that you already have on file on your computer. Now, I tried to get it to show. I couldn't get a screenshot where I had the share as well as trying to get that screenshot at the same time. So the picture is just taken from my phone. But once you click right here on this link, you're going to get a share button. You would click on that share button, and that's how you're going to get your link. And of course, it pops up looking very similar to what that Google Doc link looked like. There it is. You can save it. And then you're going, once again, you want to make sure that you save that. Now, the handout I created for this week goes into great detail of different ideas that you can use to create something that's based on your business, as well as some great graphic details. I'll give you ideas on different ways that you can get that opt-in. It doesn't have to be just a free sheet or a free handout or even a sample book. However, I do give you ideas that should fit most of your customers and try to give you some examples, not only of the opt-ins themselves, but how to work that pertaining to your ideal customer. I go into step by step next week. I want to go back about saving that URL. One of the things that I like to do whenever I am creating that URL, one of the next things that you'll have to do is you'll be going into MailChimp. And what I like to do is save those URLs from whatever it is that I'm creating. so that I have them handy. And I know now it's not like it's so hard to go back into Google Docs or Dropbox and get that link, but I like to save those links or those URLs in a place that's nice and convenient. You can use like a Word document, you can use an Excel sheet. I use Google Sheets and have everything available right there. I'll show that to you in my next training on MailChimp itself. But next week, what we're going to do is go into step-by-step detail on how to use MailChimp in the handout. And I'll help you prevent a little bit of the confusion that I had and sometimes still have whenever I'm using MailChimp. I believe in learning everything step by step, line upon line, and precept upon precept. So trying to jump right into MailChimp isn't going to help you unless you've done some of the following things. So I'm actually giving you homework this week. If you plan on jumping right into MailChimp next week, whenever I do that training, you're going to need a few things to be done. And if you haven't, you're going to have a difficult time. You'll have to stop, go back, do all of these things, and then you'll be able to do it. Well, personally, I don't like to go into a training, not implement it, go into the next training, and then realize that I should have done what I already learned, and then I have to go back and do it all over again, because frankly, then I have to go back through that training that I just did so that I can make sure that I'm doing everything correctly. So what I want you to do is, if you haven't already done it, determine your ideal customer. Then create a paper or an offer that solves a problem for that customer. Then create a Google account or a Dropbox account and put that URL in a place that'll give you easy access for whenever you need it. Okay, like I said, if you use that, if you lose it, it's not such a big deal. You can go back in and get it again, but it's a lot easier to have it all in one place. I want to thank you so much for your time. Please make sure that you get that handout. It'll help you a lot in determining that how to create that opt-in. I'm sure that it will be of great use to you. I look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place, and have a really blessed day. Bye-bye.